Hey guys, and welcome back to another week of Weekly Coldplay. My name is Monica.
And my name is Daniel.
And we're a weekly podcast all about...
You guessed it.
Daylight savings. Did you set your clocks back or forward or whatever?
Back.
No, forward.
Forward, that's right. Clocks forward. And
I didn't.
All lose an hour of sleep.
I'm sleepy.
Me too. I set my alarm on my phone, so it doesn't matter. But
I also set my alarm on my phone, but it was just... Either it went off and I was just too tired and I was just hitting off because my brain didn't register that it's daylight savings.
Yeah. I have never experienced, like, hitting an alarm when I'm too tired and not remembering it. Mm-hmm. I just don't sleep deeply enough for it, I think.
Well, it's just my subconscious just wanting to... I am not awake at those times.
No, I know. I understand that it's happening. I think it's interesting because my subconscious doesn't do that. My conscious is always close enough to the surface. Yeah, I mean, that's how I remembered was last night. I set my alarm and it said 7 hours until your alarm. And I go, 7 hours? This is 8 hours from now. Oh, gosh darn it.
Mm-hmm. So this week we're going to talk about A Rush of Blood to the Head. So it's going to be our Rush of Blood to the Head retrospective.
It was the second ever Coldplay album I owned.
And it was also their second ever Coldplay album.
Wow.
Wouldn't you believe that? Their sophomore album.
Parachutes was not my first, it was my third.
Oh.
Yeah.
A Rush of Blood to the Head came out on August 26, 2002. And the track listing is Politic, In My Place, God Put a Smile Upon Your Face. Well, that rhymes. The Scientist, Clocks, Daylight, Green Eyes, Warning Sign, A Whisper, A Rush of Blood to the Head, and Amsterdam. I said the title of the album.
Yeah, and that happens in Parachutes, too.
Whoa, oh my god.
In X and Y, it's hidden in the song Fix You.
No, it's not. There's a song called X and Y.
Okay, I know, but also, if you look at the song Fix You, and you look at just the middle of the song title.
Yeah. Okay. We're just going to disregard the song X and Y. Forget about it. Throw it out the window. Throw the entire album out the window. The only one that exists is Fix You. According
that's
to the
how
band.
The band treats it already.
Exactly, according to the band. Anyway, I'm sorry. No X and Y hate here. We're talking about A Rush of Blood to the Head. All right. I know I just read this, literally 10 minutes ago. I did not absorb a single thing. Daniel, can you walk us through the Life in Technicolor?
Yeah, so after Parachutes, the band was under a lot of pressure for their tricky second album. A band's sophomore album is often the hardest one, and their fame was skyrocketing at the time. Mm-hmm. They had some songs, they had one song left over from Parachutes that was In My Place.
Yeah.
They'd been playing it live for years, so actually it was a little tricky to finally record it because they'd been playing it live for so long they had to decide how to make it permanently sound. And also, obviously, the album was heavily affected by the events of 9/11, which were world-altering events.
Yeah.
We get the song Politic, which Chris wrote largely about, well, not really about 9/11, but inspired by 9/11 and feeling that sense of rage and hopelessness with the world. He wanted a song that A, was about your own beliefs and your belief system, and B, where they all hit their instruments really, really hard.
Yeah.
And didn't hold anything back. And so Politic was born, which is a banger. Great show opener, great album opener. That was when we got Will hitting the drums really hard for the very first time. From there, they got through the rest of the album. They had a lot of stressors with recording it. They were originally recording in their studio in London, but everything was sounding really stale. They needed to get out of the box into some Rachmaninoff.
Yeah.
So they ended up going to Liverpool, which ended up being perfect for them. Their producer, Ken Nelson, and their other producer, Mark, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Fythian, were detained and couldn't make it originally. So they had Rick Simpson to come in and record with them for a little bit until they were able to get there. And on his first day, when Simpson walked into the studio, Chris didn't know he was there and was just practicing Politic. And Simpson was struck by how Chris was giving it his all and performing it all out, even though he didn't know there was anyone there even watching.
Mm-hmm.
And so Simpson ended up sticking by the band, I think, until this day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was produced, I think, like, up until Moon Music. Like, I've literally seen his name on, like, every single album.
Yeah. I mean, Coldplay is really like a Katamari, where they just roll around picking up more and more people.
Yeah.
It feels like everyone who comes in contact with the band just stays.
Yeah.
Which is so cool to me. But, okay, so that happened at the London studio, and then they moved from there to the Liverpool studio. I've got things a little out of order. But, when they got there, they were also under a lot of pressure because it was supposed to have a June 2002 release. The release date had come and went. They'd been invited to headline Glastonbury, and they didn't even have a second album out. So they were trying really hard to get it out before then, but really struggling to finalize the album. Then they ended up adding some songs that ended up showing up and really changing the shape of the album. The Scientist, Clocks in Daylight. The Scientist being a very big one. On the sleeve notes, you might see The Scientist is Dan Keeling. It's because Chris wrote that song about Dan Keeling's very painful breakup. And then upon hearing it for the first time, Dan said, "I feel worse now." Clocks was a song that Phil insisted they include. It was a demo, and Phil said the album really needed it.
Yeah. And of course, Clocks, infamously, that was the song that Will originally had turned down and be like, no, there's no song here. Will, of course, to this day, admits that he was very, very wrong.
And then Daylight's not interesting enough for them to have any information about it.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, there's the infamous The Scientist music video, which they filmed in reverse. And they had Chris Martin learn the lyrics backwards.
Yeah. Just so record about you kill me.
Not like that, though. When they finished recording in Liverpool was when Phil announced that he was going to be leaving the band. He had them stick with Estelle and
Dave Holmes.
Dave Holmes, thank you, as their co-managers. Estelle didn't really expect A, to be named manager, B, she firmly believed Phil was coming back, and she's still upset to this day that she feels that because of Phil taking that leave of absence, he missed out on the MFA Manager of the Year awards, and that makes her angry to this day because she feels like he should have gotten it.
Yeah.
She did everything on a what would Phil do philosophy.
I gotta make a bracelet. What would Phil Harvey do?
But they ended up releasing A Rush of Blood to the Head with a lot of anxiety. Chris said that every night he would go to sleep so worried that everyone would hate it because they'd put so much work and love into this album. But everyone did not hate it. It topped the charts in the UK. It was number 5 in the US. Its first day of sales, it sold as much as Parachutes did in its whole first week. Debs Wild and the group also had a little party, this time with the band, minus Will, who was busy cooking a Sunday roast, which is very Will-core in my mind. And then they ended up doing the Glastonbury show before Rush of Blood to the Head was actually out. Which scared them because they were playing these songs that no one had heard before. But it worked. Glastonbury went really well. They had the giant green laser for clocks that blinded everyone. Will could not see past his drums. And they toured the album, and they had a very successful tour of the album.
Yeah, they came out with Live 2003.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say, am I forgetting anything?
Yeah.
Live 2003.
Yeah, which is their first concert DVD that they put out. And it was a show, like a medium-sized show. in Australia because they were like, okay, well, we don't want to, we don't want to put a big show on there.
Yeah,
like,
because they were already playing arenas at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Like, they wanted to put a small show out first so that there's still something to, like, build up to.
Coldplay really did make the jump to playing arenas so fast.
Yeah.
Like, I know that they're still, like, expanding and having bigger and bigger shows now.
Yeah.
But in my mind, like, the arenas is, like, a relatively recent-ish thing. But really, they've been playing arenas since their second album.
Yeah.
It's just, like, insanely fast how big they got.
They skyrocketed. It was because of that guy, Chris Martin. He manifested it. He was, like, jumping around in his curly hair and braces and was just like, we're going to be the big boom-busting band. Oh, actually, that reminds me of, like, the most important bit that's not in here. My favorite Coldplay video of all time is Johnny Goes Jazz. And that was during the recording of A Russian Blood to the Head.
Oh, something else that was in here was the start of Roadie 42.
Yes.
When they were on tour, he was doing just silly, goofy videos with the band, and he started to have the idea that it would be a fun service they could provide to have these, like, behind-the-scenes videos and pictures from the tour to get a look at what the band's touring life was like.
That's pretty much it. Anything else to add?
No, I don't think so. I think that's all of it. All these pictures of the band from this era are so cute.
Yeah. A guy is wearing the shirt that says "Getting Lucky in Kentucky," and I'm obsessed with it.
Yeah, mostly just because she likes the shape of Kentucky.
No, I love the shirt. It's so good. It's so good. Like, I need that shirt. I'd wear it to a Coldplay concert.
I think it's because the shirt is green. And
no, you're simplifying it too much. Daniel, it says "Getting Lucky in Kentucky." Anyway, so moving on to what our thoughts on the album itself. So the album starts with Politic. They're banging everything really hard, In
the Milo Xyloto book thing, Will is like, that was the first time I ever hit my drums hard. Mm-hmm. And I'm so glad that Will hits his drums hard now.
Yeah, it's cool. I had the privilege of seeing this live in the Philippines last year, and it rules. I remember my reaction whenever they played it. I was, oh my god! I recorded it.
And then she started crying.
Almost. I wasn't actually crying.
Oh, really? Okay, I thought you were.
I mean, yeah, sure. Like, tears were welling up, but I wasn't sobbing.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it's a great song. It's a really good song. I mean, everything about it, composition. It's great. I think they really needed that, like, kind of like, I don't want to say, hard rock isn't correct, but you know what I mean. Not like they really need to get that energy out. Is what I mean.
Heavy, loud.
Yes, heavy. That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, and the message has ended up being so timeless.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, again, even to this day, they were still playing it. I wish that they would play it live again.
Yeah.
Now even more than ever, especially in the U.S. shows. Coldplay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I really have to say about Politic.
Yeah.
You have anything else?
No, I mean, that's it. They
hit
played it loud.
Yeah, exactly. They play it hard and play it loud. Yeah. All right, next song is In My Place. Oh, I didn't mention, like, what the singles were. In My Place, Gotta Put a Smile on Your Face, Scientist, Clocks, The End.
Yeah.
Yeah. But In My Place, that was their first single for this album.
Which makes sense since they had already been playing it for so long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, I mean, the music video is super simple. They're just playing in a room with two people on the stairs.
Can you imagine now Coldplay playing shows at concerts that haven't been released yet in an album?
Yes. Because, I mean, they were playing Eterna.
That's true. And We Pray.
Yeah. So, yes, I can. I wish... Oh, and remember, years ago, they were playing One World. a couple of times as well.
That's true.
Yeah, so yeah, Coldplay, do that again. I want to hear some new stuff.
Yeah, it's fun.
Do it again. But yeah, In My Place, I like the drums a lot in My Place. That's like really like I think the core of the song, as well as Johnny at the end going, oh yeah. Not I like live. He does that live. Chris forces him to, and Johnny does not like it.
I, as Monica knows, grew to really love this song because in Live in Buenos Aires, Will is singing. And I really like it when Will sings, and so I've listened to it a lot, mostly that version, because I like how Will sings it. And I also really like the oh yeah at the end of that one, where Chris and Will are like harmonizing, and they get the whole crowd in on it. And but I mean, I also love the original song, and it's another one of the ones where I really love the lyrics, even though they don't make the most sense.
Yeah.
But they don't make the least sense either. So they're
You
somewhere
know,
in the middle amount of sense.
I mean, listen, it rhymes. That's fine. In my place, were lines that I couldn't change.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's an Emily Dickinson rhyme.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good for Chris.
Look, Emily Dickinson's great, all right?
Yeah. I also like the guitar in this where, yeah. It's nice. It sounds good to my ears. I wish they would start playing this live again. I kind of miss it. I was tired of it when it was like every single night, like In My Place again. And there was no rotational. Now I wish it was part of the rotational. I miss it.
Yeah,
I miss it.
And I was never around during the era when they played it all the time. I love the song, and I wish they would play it because I want to hear it live.
Coldplay, come on now. Come on. And then after In My Place is God Put a Smile Upon Your Face. So this song, I like the guitar a lot. We sang it last night at karaoke.
Yeah, we did sing it last night at karaoke. It's more fun when Chris sings it live. The karaoke version also cut out part of it, and but I do really like this song a lot. I like it in shows. We saw it live in Brooklyn. Monica got the words wrong. It's fine. Chris was also getting the words to stuff wrong.
Yeah, exactly. I was getting confused.
Yeah.
I think I'm just so used to Chris getting the words wrong that I was singing the wrong lyrics. I was like, oh, this is the live version where Chris doesn't know anything. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Normal, regular.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a fun song to hear live. They have been playing it live more recently. Which I really like. It's high, it's energetic. I think it wasn't until I don't even know when. I think really like the not Viva era, Milo Xyloto era, where like this song live this song really changed live, where like they started to really, really, really rock by like the end of the song, because I mean this song it mostly is like acoustic guitar, when you listen to the album, but now it's just like when Johnny goes off. Yeah. Used to throw a guitar in the air.
I really like this song live, but I am a little sad that it feels like it's like taken over the rotational spot, and they never play any of the other rotational songs anymore.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I like it. I want them to keep playing it. I just wish maybe rotational could be a little bit more rotational.
Yeah, Coldplay.
I miss Charlie Brown.
Yeah.
You know what else I miss? Humankind.
Yeah. Orphans. I would love to hear Orphans live. Orphans or In My Place. Anyway, yeah, I could go on and on about what they should do with their set list. But yeah, I also really like the guitar and not the guitar, sorry, the bass guitar. The bass.
I just realized Guy Berryman, guitar, bass.
GB for the GB.
Yeah. GB for the BG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's God Put a Smile Upon Your Face.
Yeah.
I like the music video with like the guys disappearing.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, really? This guy's disappearing. That's
Oh,
all.
interesting.
Yeah. And then Chris's little intersplice jump scares of like the band and Chris just singing to the camera.
Scary. Scared.
And then after God Put a Smile, it's The Scientist, probably one of their biggest songs. Besides the next song on this, the next track after The Scientist. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really good song. Part of me has this theory that the song is really about, like, I guess it's like this story of this scientist who wants to time travel back in time to
stop
save
what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To save the relationship.
Yeah. Or to stop a car crash.
Yeah. Anyway, that's all. That's my own running theory, not canon.
I like The Scientist. It is just one of the songs that I've gotten a little burnt out on.
Yeah.
After hearing it so many times.
Yeah. I still like the song. I like the music video a lot. We were just saying how we need to watch it forward or backwards, forwards.
Yeah, we've never watched it in reverse.
Yeah.
Which in here they're talking specifically about how, we wanted to make sure that if you watch it in reverse, it'll all make sense. It's like, oh.
It makes sense when you watch it in
forwards.
regular.
But I think it would be cool to see it in the direction it was filmed.
Yeah. That's all I really have to say about The Scientist. It's a standard song. It's a very good song. It is a very good song. But I think compared to like other like Coldplay's like big known songs, I think it's one of the more boring ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
But yeah, I mean, no hate. I like it still. I will still belt it out at a concert. But yeah. I feel like it's just one of those songs that doesn't really mean that much to me. You know, mostly because I haven't been through a horrible breakup, so I don't really relate to the lyrics. So that as well. Anyway, the next song is Clocks, probably their biggest song on the album, and one of their biggest songs yet. I mean, the piano is just so iconic. It's just so iconic.
It's Chris's enrichment time.
Yeah.
They got the green lasers.
Yeah, I think there's just like a certain like synergy in the song where it's just like everybody just gets it.
Yeah. I used to be really sick of this song, and then after you told me that the "you are" goes with home, I started to really like it more because now I have one piece of the lyrics that makes sense to me. You are home where I wanted to go. I have one line that makes sense. That's enough for me. I don't need to understand any of the rest of the
about no tigers
song.
or
shooting apples.
Yeah, shooting apples. Closing walls and ticking clocks.
Yeah.
It is a bunch of what Chris has called mumblies. It doesn't make any sense, but somehow it's still just such a good song. I don't get it. Of course, you know me, I go crazy for them green lasers.
Yeah, it is maybe a testament to the fact that Coldplay might be doing some kind of magics or something.
Yeah.
That this song with nonsensical lyrics and no real song, as Will put it, has become so
real
popular.
Yeah. I also really like guys lining that no. See, I feel like I'm not singing it right, but I know it in my head. I hear it in my brains. If you could just hear my brains right now, you would hear it.
Yeah, you would hear
it. Stop! No, that's not what my brain sounds like. It sounds like Guy Berryman's bass lines. Obviously. And Stuart Copeland's drumming.
No, I mean literally, like if you shook them around.
Yeah, it sounds like Guy Berryman's bass lines and Stuart Copeland's drumming.
Oh, my bad.
You're not up here. You don't know what's going on up here. And that's all. That's all I really have to say about Clocks. The lyrics don't make sense, but it sounds good.
Yeah. I do get sick of the piano part.
Oh, I mean, I like it. I think, I guess, you know, if I'm on my own and I listen to it, you know, like I have my Coldplay playlist on shuffle and I hear clocks. I'm like, okay, whatever. But like if I'm out in the wild and then I hear that piano part, I get super excited.
No, yeah, I would get really excited to hear it out in the wild too.
Yeah.
And I got really excited when I was flying home to visit for spring break, and right when like the plane landed, clocks started playing on the playlist I was listening to.
Nice.
Home where I wanted to go.
Yeah. Aww. After that is Daylight.
Yeah. We listened to it this morning, and I already can't really remember anything about it.
That's Will's part.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like I like Chris's voice on this song, but I also don't. I don't know. It's really monotone, but it's like interesting enough for me to keep listening to the song. You know, that's really it. It's a good song. You know, I listen to it anytime like it does play, but I don't really seek out to listen to Daylight. I think really. You know, I feel like Daylight, this song, and another song that I'm going to talk about later, here 2 songs later, it just feels like a lot of noise to me. Not that that's like a bad thing or anything, but I'm just saying like it just feels like a lot of noise, which fits the album. I think it fits the album, especially starting with Politic. But yeah, I don't really go out and seek and listen to the song. And honestly, to this day, I don't even really know the lyrics. Do I sing along? Yeah, I don't, but I don't know what I'm singing. That's I think it's my subconscious again. She knows, I don't.
Yeah.
Anything you want to add to Daylight?
Like I said, quite literally, we heard it this morning, and I already don't remember anything about it.
All right. Well, then we'll just move on to Green Eyes.
Yeah.
That song's really good.
I like it a lot.
Yeah. I like the guitar. It's about Johnny.
Yeah.
No one else.
Well, no, it was also about some American girl that Chris had a crush on.
Yeah.
And
who was it? Gwyneth Paltrow.
But it was also about Johnny.
Yeah.
And then, interestingly to me, when they were touring while Chris and Gwyneth were together, the band stopped playing Green Eyes because they felt it was too disrespectful to Gwyneth.
You really that jealous of Johnny?
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't be?
Yeah. No, but you know, it's a good love song, you know, and you know, but every time I hear "Honey, You Are a Rock," I feel like he's saying that to Will. Like part of me thinks that he's saying that to Will because he always says that Will's the rock of the band. So. Yeah, I mean, the lyrics are really good, guitar, and then I like how it kind of builds up to, you know, and then Will comes in, the rest of the band and everything, and the Johnny is real soulful with that guitar.
Because he knows it's about him.
Yeah, exactly.
I love Green Eyes.
Yeah, me too.
Love Green Eyes.
Me too.
I mean,
yeah.
Green Eyes was one of the songs I was considering suggesting we do last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I think I just saw God Put a Smile first, or like you just asked me, hey, what song, and I just said, oh, okay, God Put a Smile. You know, I just said a random song because I think we had just listened to it, so
we had.
Yeah, it was just fresh in my mind. But yeah, after Green Eyes is Warning Sign. I love this song. I loved it whenever they played it live during the Milo's Island tour.
Oh, when they played it live last year.
Yeah. It's just such a, I feel like it really is like a heart-wrenching song. Like, oh, you know, it's all my farts, all my faults. And yeah, you know, it's a really good love song.
With The Scientist.
Yeah, I think it does too. The lyrics are really good. The guitar part, I'm obsessed with.
Melodically, I love Warning Sign.
Yeah, me too. It's just, yeah, I don't know. There's just something about that song that's just, I just keep coming back to it.
I didn't really pay attention to it until it played live last year, and then you were going on about how excited you were.
Yeah.
And I gave it a closer listen, and then I started to really love it.
Oh, yeah. It's a great song. It's a great song. Yeah, I wish that they would play Warning Sign more. I'm obsessed. And then after Warning Sign is A Whisper. This for a song called A Whisper, there's a lot of noise in it. They sure are not whispering.
Yeah, they are pretty loud.
Yeah, and it kind of drones. It's like too long. Drones on for too long. But I will say that I heard, or I had read somewhere, it was either Chris or Will that said this, that like they tried to play it live like a few times and they just couldn't get it right. And the only time that they really got it right was recording the song. It was like a one-take magic kind of thing. And yeah, so that, I mean, I commend the song for that. Like, I think, besides, like, actually listening to it, and it sounds kind of like, it feels kind of mundane, but, like, I guess from a musical standpoint, it's harder to play than we think, which, again, I commend the band for.
Yeah, and they also keep talking about clocks.
Yeah.
It's like the sequel.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a whisper. It's fine. It's one of the it's honestly probably one of my least favorite Coldplay songs.
Really?
Yeah.
It's one of my least favorite ones on the album, but I wouldn't call it one of my least favorite Coldplay songs.
Wow. All right. I mean, again, like that's no hate, no shade. Like, I like the song.
I just can think of a lot of songs I like less.
Oh yeah, I mean, fair enough. I mean, well, I say one of my least favorite Coldplay songs. I mean, like, they have like such a huge discography that that a lot of things can be lumped into that. So it could probably still be like in the middle in like my big ranking, but And then after A Whisper is A Rush of Blood to the Head, the title of the album.
The eponymous track.
Is that what that means?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. There you go. You learned a word today, everyone.
Yeah. I like it because there's a Y in it.
Oh.
You don't normally see those in the middle.
Anyway. Yeah, whenever, like, the first few listens through of the songs, whenever I first was getting into Coldplay, I didn't really like the song. I didn't care for it. But now I think it tells a great story. Yeah, this one, again, is, like, a painful, like, Coldplay song.
This one has always been one of my favorite ones off this album, and used to be my favorite song on this album. I wouldn't say it's my favorite one on this album anymore.
Really? Okay.
But it is still really up there.
Yeah.
And it used to be like the main one that I liked to listen to, especially back when I first got really into A Rush of Blood to the Head, the album. It was largely focused on A Rush of Blood to the Head, the song.
Yeah, I like the song okay. I like to sing it. I think it's a really fun song to sing. And yeah, I feel like I was more touching on like the musical elements last episode, but like this episode, I'm just like, yeah, they're there. Not really knocking like any of the musical elements of this. I'm just really tired because it's daylight savings.
Yeah, I like how it builds. I will say I did get a portion of the lyrics wrong for a significantly long time.
Yeah.
They say, "Start as you mean to go on." And I heard, "Stardust, you need to go home." I thought maybe it was like a cosmic being who was telling the listener, "Stardust, you need to go home." Like, start as like an affectionate term. Anyway. And I still sometimes hear that on accident when I'm hearing the song. Yeah.
I mishear, even to this day, I mishear a lot of Coldplay lyrics, so I think Chris just needs to enunciate. Stop being so English. And then Amsterdam is the last track on this album. There's no secret hidden songs on this album. I love Amsterdam so much. I love the song. The piano is beautiful. And I love the way that it builds into just like a huge crescendo of, you know,
The band.
yeah, you have the band, and but also like lyrically, like just like this pain and suffering, but also builds to thank you for saving me. Lyrically, this is like one of their best songs. Period. You know, I'm dead on the surface, but I'm screaming underneath is probably one of my favorite lyrics. As well as oh, my star is fading. Um, and just like the entire end of the song. I love this song to the ends of the earth. To the ends of the earth, and that will pretty much key you in on what my ranking will be.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that.
I mean, I did my ranking of like my top 20 Coldplay songs, and this was like in the
I
the
know,
top
but I don't remember
3. Okay,
what
well,
your top 20 Coldplay songs were. But I, as I explained to Monica earlier when we were listening to this song, I love this song a lot, but my big issue with it is that I have not gotten my brain to forge a connection between the title Amsterdam and the song itself. Like, I understand why Amsterdam is the title of the song, but when I hear the song, I can't remember its name. And when I hear the name Amsterdam, I can't remember what song it goes with. I don't know why. I can't get them to click together.
Listen to it more.
That is what I need to do. Is just listen to it more.
Listen to Amsterdam.
It's
more.
not on like my main playlist of Coldplay songs.
Okay,
I
well then
listen to.
that's the issue. Put it on there right now.
I don't know if it's calming enough.
Yeah, that's fine. The piano bits are calming.
Yeah, I'll get real calm and then.
Yeah. Anyway, I love that song to the ends of the earth. As I said. And yeah, that is a rush of blood to the head. So I guess we will share our rankings now. Daniel, you will go first.
Okay.
Because I do mine live.
Yeah. So this album is one of my favorite Coldplay albums. It's in like my top 3 or 4. My favorites don't stay the same. My rankings of things don't stay the same. But A Rush of Blood to the Head has been up there for a long time, and at times has been my number 1 favorite. I'm quite fond of a lot of songs on it. So at the bottom of my list is Daylight, because it is just so unmemorable to me. The song, I don't know, it just doesn't stick out. Next up is A Whisper, which I actually do really like, but I feel like it gets too repetitive. And then is The Scientist, which I feel bad having it so low down, but I'm also so sick of it, and there are so many other fantastic songs on the album. Next up is Clocks, which is a song that, like I said, I've grown a lot fonder of, but is just another song that I hear all the time. The next one is God Put a Smile Upon Your Face. And then Amsterdam, and then Green Eyes, and then Warning Sign, and then Politic, then A Rush of Blood to the Head, and then in the number 1 spot is In My Place, which is just a very special song to me.
Nice. Okay, so my ranking is A Whisper. As I said, it's probably one of my least favorite Coldplay songs, and then A Rush of Blood to the Head. And then Daylight, and then The Scientist, then probably In My Place, Green Eyes, God Put a Smile Upon Your Face, Politic, Clocks, Warning Sign, and Amsterdam. Yeah, solid.
I was surprised Clocks was only number 3, although I did have a hunch after learning that Amsterdam was your number 1, that the other 2 in your top 3 would be Clocks and Warning Sign, but I thought they were going to be flipped.
No, I love Warning Sign too much. Again, Clocks, again, it's just we hear it so many times that it's just yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and now on to other news. Chris and Phil are working with FIFA to finalize a list of artists to perform at the halftime show at the FIFA World Cup and in Times Square for next year's biggest ever FIFA World Cup. So that halftime is going to be at the finals in Jersey, I think. And yeah, it's funny that they're working with FIFA to curate a list, and it's just like, okay, will you be also on the list?
Yeah, it was very unclear.
And also, I wish that the finals were in Houston. I know that there's going to be some World Cup games in Houston, but I want to see Coldplay perform here. But I guess I'll go out to Jersey.
Yeah. Hey, look, everything is legal in New Jersey.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
James Blake, who I don't know who he is, but he's
a musician that
Yeah.
I've heard of, but I cannot tell you any songs.
He was on BBC Sounds, and they were talking about some other stuff, but he ended up saying, I'm going to do a series of quotes from him that give the general gist of this conversation. Coldplay bashing, it's gotta stop. It's just not cool anymore. Chris Martin is clearly a melodic genius. Are we not allowed to change the way we dress? Are we not allowed to write songs in a different genre?
Mm-hmm.
Just, yeah, I mean, that really is to the point that it's not fun or cool anymore to just say Coldplay sucks.
Yeah. I'm traumatized by it to where, like, I'm like, okay, only one Coldplay song at karaoke. I'm trying to get over my fear, all
right? It makes me so sad because I want to sing lots of Coldplay songs at karaoke.
Yeah, but I just have such a fear.
Even though the DJ likes it when we sing Coldplay songs.
Yeah, I still have a fear.
Yeah. Which is very fair.
Yeah.
But people need to get over themselves. Coldplay is cool.
Yeah. Coldplay is cool. I'll make a shirt that says Coldplay is cool.
Yeah.
You know, I'll open up a weekly Coldplay shop.
Oh, hell yeah.
So we never change shirts.
And we'll donate the profits to
the charity.
The charity of the month.
Yeah. Okay, that might be an idea. All right, Etsy. Yeah, that's the news.
That's the news. All right, speaking of charity of the month, this is the part of the show where we talk about a different charity every month. This month, as I mentioned last week, instead of doing just one charity for the month, we're going to highlight a few different organizations focusing on helping people who are HIV positive. So last week we did a Houston-specific one, and this week I'm going to focus on one that is based in New York City. They're called the Alliance for Positive Change, and you can find them at alliance.nyc. The Alliance for Positive Change helps New Yorkers living with HIV and other chronic health conditions with healthcare, housing, harm reduction, coaching, and economic mobility programs that equip people to navigate systemic inequities and achieve health and well-being. Alliance primarily works with and for New York City's Black, Hispanic, LGBTQ, and HIV-positive communities, as well as people who use drugs and people in recovery. And they also use English-Spanish bilingual services to expand the range of people who they're able to help. And now I'm going to go through a few of the services they provide that I think are very cool because it goes very far beyond just offering testing and healthcare. They offer free testing for HIV and hepatitis C in several locations throughout the city. They also have a van that travels across the city to bring testing to people. They also offer preventative services to assist high-risk communities, such as people having unprotected sex. They have relationship safety classes, and they also have harm reduction programs that I'll talk a little bit more about in a second. They help connect people with needed medical and mental health services by assessing what your needs are and finding what services you need, and they can connect people with insurance and different doctors. They offer harm reduction services for people who use drugs or are in recovery, including syringe services with no-cost access to clean syringes or syringe exchanges, and overdose prevention training and support groups. They help provide people with basic needs of food, clothing, and shelter. They work with caterers, restaurants, and charities to provide appetizing and balanced meals for breakfast and lunch at 5 locations throughout Manhattan and the Bronx every day. They also have several food pantries, which provide monthly pantry packages containing enough ingredients for 9 balanced meals, which they can adjust to match whatever cooking implements people might have available. They have emergency pantry services to get food directly to people who are hungry and need it right away. And they also offer cooking classes and nutritional coaching to help teach people what they can do with the ingredients they're distributing. They provide housing placement services, and they also run a 90-unit residence, which provides short-term or permanent supportive housing with services like communal eating, access to healthcare, and coaching for independent living. They also have a clothing room at one of their locations, which can provide warm winter clothes, business and everyday interview clothes, as well as toiletry kits. They also run a peer power program, which allows participants of the Alliance programs to undergo training to become peer counselors and peer interns, and then they in turn can help with community outreach, helping other participants in the programs, and that eventually for a lot of people leads into a career working full-time with the Alliance. So it is opening up new opportunities and jobs while at the same time helping them help other people who are going through the same things that they've already been through.
Thank you, Daniel.
You're welcome, Monica.
And where can you find them at?
Alliance.nyc.
All right. And we'll have that link in our description. And that wraps it up for this week. Next week, I was actually thinking about we talk about Live 2003, so that we just kind of go chronologically, and we just stretch this out as much as possible.
Plus, I need to rewatch Live 2003 because when I first watched it was when I was just barely starting to get into Coldplay, and I definitely did not like them to the extent that I like them now. So it's going to be interesting to see it again now that I am a lot fonder of the band.
Yeah, we'll watch Live 2003, and we'll also watch the documentary, and we'll talk about both things next week here on Weekly Coldplay. My name is Monica.
My name is still Daniel.
And we are Weekly Coldplay. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Weekly Coldplay. For more Coldplay content from us, check us out on Twitter at Weekly Coldplay and Instagram at weekly.coldplay. That is weekly, Coldplay. And if you like what you hear, give us a follow on wherever you're listening to the podcast on. Thank you again, and we'll be back next week with more Coldplay news.